Man, it has been far too long. I have been being a terrible YouTuber. I haven't uploaded in 3, maybe 4 weeks now, but I've been so busy working and I got a lot of personal stuff going on and I don't need to bore you with that stuff. So in this video, you will see the car painted. That's the video that you've been looking forward to, I know for sure. That's the video of mine whenever I'm painting a car that always does the best because I'm actually painting the car. So that'll be in this video. Also, I went into a little bit of detail on how I repaired that rear bumper. Talked about that a little bit. I'm kind of filming this at the end, so I'm coming to you from the future. Other stuff I filmed a couple weeks ago. I've just been so crazy busy. I'm just gonna show you what I got, and I hope you like it.
And now, you're watching the This Is the Final Notice. We have been trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty channel of YouTube. Welcome to BoostedBoiz.
Hey, so what is up and welcome. Thank you so much for joining me on yet another video. So what I want to focus on right now is, if you can see this, that's not good. We were supposed to get another bumper sent to us. A couple deals fell through and I'm not gonna wait on them. We're still gonna try to get another one, but with this one, I'm gonna do the best I can with what I have. And if you're gonna do something incorrectly, like try to plastic weld something back together, you might as well do it the best you possibly can. So the first thing that I wanna do, that was just lipped up. I just wanted to get that off of it so that way I wasn't fighting any tension. So now I'm gonna try to sand this down, puzzle piece this back together, plastic welded on the inside, and I'll show you all the steps. Bumper, the way that I want to approach it in stages. First, this was kind of bent. I wanted to cut off all the high edges that were going to prevent it from lining up. And as of right now, I got it to line up pretty damn good. It's not that bad. It's a lot better than it was. So what I want to do is, the first stage is I want to get it where it belongs and I want it to temporarily stay there. What I'm going to do that is I'm going to heat up all this plastic, heat this, and eventually and essentially burn all the edges together. Then once it's where I want it to be, I'm gonna go to the back side and reinforce it, and I'll show you how to do that too. So this right here, this is just a cheap Harbor Freight plastic welder. The tip broke off, but it's just the tip and it don't matter, it still works. So what I'm gonna do is just use this, kind of go in there, try to warm up the edges just a little bit. These are all the edges that it's going to be making contact with. As you're doing this, it'd be a good idea to do it with a fan on. This plastic's kind of nasty. So I just want to heat that up, kind of smooth it over as you're heating it up. So as you can see, that looks pretty good. Starting to come together. There's a little bit of a gap right there. So I'm going to use the filler rod, and I'm saying filler rod like it's legit when it's really just this plastic. Now I know you can buy more high-end kits and it comes with different types of plastic, and depending on the different type of plastic that you're using, you would use a different type of filler rod, but for this I'm just going to use what came with it, but that's just if you want to get a little bit more into it. Alright, so now looking at the inside, this is where we're at, right in that corner right there. You can actually see the difference in color because it's a lot more clean. So what I want to do next is I just have this metal screen. It's a metal, kind of like chicken wire, but it's not chicken wire. Almost like what would be around your pool screen, but it's just metal. I'll just cut off a little piece, a couple little strips. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get an area nice and hot, just with the plastic welder itself. And then once I have an area that's pretty warm, that's when I can stick the screen down in that warm area. And then you start to burn that metal screen into the plastic. And the idea is to completely make this metal screen disappear so that way it's in there nice and strong and reinforced. Almost the same concept as fiberglass and resin, where the resin would be brittle without the fiberglass fibers. This is the plastic's going to be weak, but the metal's in there to hopefully make it last a little longer. Alright, so with that bumper, that is actually looking pretty good. I just got a couple coats of primer on it. I'll show you where we're at so far. That's this area right here. It still needs a little bit of work, but we are going to go ahead and put that off to the side for now and actually get into painting the car. When you're painting a car, well, I know for me at least, I am very focused on what I got going on. I'm just repeating things in my head, and I have different things that I repeat in my head depending on which step I'm on. For example, when I'm on the base coat, coat number 1, I just want to get base on the panel. I'm not focused on full coverage yet. I don't want to go too wet because that's when you get that really nasty tiger stripe model looking. It doesn't look good at all, and this color is especially hard to make that not happen. Anything that's a lighter metallic color like a silver or even this light blue is very similar to a silver, so that's very challenging. In my mind, the first coat, I'm just nice, light, consistent, nice, light, consistent, nice, light, consistent. That's what I'm saying in my head. And I don't care if it covers the entire panel. Then that second coat, when I come back, see, for this I actually did 2.5 coats. The first coat, that's self-explanatory. That's what I just explained. Then the second coat, I go ahead and do a panel with pretty decent coverage. Then I step back from the panel, bring my gun about 1.5 feet away, and then just dust paint on there. That way it's landing in a wet bed of paint and all those metallics can become a lot more consistent. That's a trick that I actually learned from my buddy Brian over at Paint Society. He taught me that a couple years back, and it has truly been a lifesaver for me when I'm painting metallics. So first mindset, nice, light. Second coat, my mindset is get nice coverage, step back, and then dust it. That's actually called an orientation coat. And then my mindset for the clear is just for the first coat, get it nice and consistent, we want to do a wet coat, but not so wet. Then the second coat, that's when I'm just stacking that clear coat on there, getting it as thick and as consistent as I possibly can get it. There's a fine line between super nice and glossy and running. If you're somewhere in between there, the closer you can get to the paint running without it actually running, the better off the panel's gonna look. Now, if you don't want to risk the runs, I'll never want to risk the runs. If you don't want to risk the runs, don't spray the clear coat so thick, and you can always go back, wet sand and buff it at the end, because runs, that's the worst. Wago or any other car that I'm painting for that matter, one thing that you gotta kind of learn as you go, or if you're new to painting, it's a question that I get pretty often is, when do you start to pull the tape off? If you wait 24, 48 hours, if you wait longer than what you should, and you have paint that's actually up to an edge where the tape is, you're gonna risk pulling the paint and the tape off together. So you gotta make sure it's gonna break nice and clean. What I always do, and what works really well for me, and what I already did before even picking up the camera for this last time, is I went ahead and finished all the clear coat, cleaned my gun, broke it down, cleaned out the needle, did everything, set it back up, put it in my cabinet. Then I took about 30, 45 minutes, kind of relaxed a little bit, got a drink, hung out, checked my phone, and then I'm pretty good. You want the paint to be a little bit sticky, but not sticky that it's gonna really be too crazy. See right now, the paint's pretty damn dry, so I would be worried that it's almost getting too late. So my rule of thumb, wait about an hour, hour and a half, and then pull off the tape on those crucial edges. But you don't wanna make too much dust. So what I did is I just pulled this off, got it away from the edge, and I'm not gonna worry about it. Same with the doors. This trim right here was right up against the paint. So I taped it down as best as I could, and then I just opened the doors. Nothing else is touching the painted edge, so I don't gotta worry about that. The headlight, there's good separation between the fender, and you understand what I'm saying. So that's what I do, that's how I do, that's how this car turned out, and I'm exhausted, I'm out of here. So thank you guys so much for watching. Like this video, comment, subscribe, let me know what you think. I'll see you on the next one. I'm out.